Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Random Heathen Ramblings podcast, where we discuss all sorts of things Germanic heathenry related. My name is Jesse, and I'm your host. Let's get into it.
The RHR workshop is dedicated to the old ways, offering a wide selection of animist ritual supplies, divination tools, altar goods, and home decor, including premium reindeer hides imported from traditional herders in northern Finland. Whether you're just starting your spiritual journey or looking to expand your collection with a custom drum, we have everything you need. Visit our online store at thealvatir.com and discover the beauty of mountain spirit.
All right, folks. Sorry for the initial late arrival on my part. I was having some technical issues, and I had to reboot or refresh, I guess is the word for it. Going to bring some folks here on our live stream here in just a moment, but before we do, let me just give some acknowledgments to folks who I see coming on here now. We've got who we got here. We got Voodoo Viking says, "Woohoo! First comment. Heck yeah, you are. Hope you're not freezing too bad down there in Louisiana." We've also got Michael Thacker says, second comment and first live I've been to in a while. Well, it's good having you both and everybody else that may be watching. In case you guys are wondering, I've got a little bit of a different setup here. So my comment section is going to be really small for me to read. So I will do my best to get everybody's comments up on screen and get them answered in a timely manner. And as you can also see, the setup is a little bit different than what I've had done in the past. So this is going to be kind of the backdrop of what you see for the future of the podcast going forward. But we are here now just kind of getting things started with our first live stream of 2025. This is our first monthly live stream for the Random Heathen Ramblings podcast. So if you are listening to this later on, for those of you that are watching now live, thank you very much. If you want to continue to catch video podcast versions of this show, you can do so by becoming a patron on Patreon. Link for that's going to be posted down in the video description or, whatever. You go to patreon.com/MidgardMusings, and you can join at a Carl tier. Hey there, Randy of Frithheim. Good to have you here. Thank you very much for showing up. But yeah, if you go to patreon.com/MidgardMusings, join at a Carl tier. It's just a $1 pledge. You get access to all of my video podcasts. They're 3 to 4 episodes a month. What's Voodoo say? It says it's cold now, 51 degrees, out of the cold, but okay, 6.5 inches of snow. Well, that won't last with 50-degree temps. So yeah, for those of you that are watching this live, I do these monthly, usually the first Monday of every month at 8 p.m. Central. And it's an open floor discussion for people that have questions or comments that they want to share. Feel free to post them in the comment section, and we'll get them as quick as we can. Cowboy on YouTube says, "Hail the gods and hello from Wyoming." Dang, all the way out there in beyond America's heartland, man. You're in, as they say, God's country, or the God's country. All right. So now that all that housekeeping stuff is out of the way, I have two guests lined up for us here today. Two very esteemed men in the community, respectively. So welcome to the show. We've got Blake Russell here of Scaldic Works, returning to the show just after a recent appearance here on the show. So welcome to the show here, Blake.
Hey, welcome. Can you hear me?
Yep, can hear you nice and loud and clear. And then we also have Patrick Walsh, who is in the Highland Spiritual Group community over there on Facebook, and a good friend and brother of mine. So hail and welcome to the show, guys. Hail, Patrick. Thanks for joining. You might have to unmute yourself there, Patrick. I think I may have, or I can ask you to unmute because there we go. Try
Thank
that now.
you. There we go.
There you are. Perfect. Awesome. All right, guys. How's everybody doing tonight?
Good.
Not too shabby. Thanks for asking.
That's great. I am doing well too, and I'm glad to have you guys here. Let me get some things set up here that I need to get set up. Um, so Blake, you didn't know this, but obviously here Patrick is, um, and but you had asked to come back on the show here, um, to kind of do a recap of uh some of the things that we may have not gotten a chance to touch on last show. And there's Josh West from the Norse Fox Creations says hello from North Carolina. Hail to you and welcome to the show, Josh West. Thanks for being here. So yeah, anyways, I'm gonna do my best to keep up with the comments. But Blake, if you want to kind of give us a little bit of a recap of what we were talking about last time, sir.
Yeah.
Um,
I believe we were talking. I believe we were talking about the troubles the of explaining our terms to other people
oh
who
yeah.
are in the esoterical or pagan field that are not heathen or Norse pagan or astro.
Yeah, so we were talking like using terms like weird or like
Philia,
frith or philia or some of these other like terms that are very
Orlog.
native,
Yeah,
orlog, weird, right? Native
yeah,
terms fit to heathenry that
yeah,
when you start throwing them around to other people who are not heathen, that kind of communication barrier can make it kind of challenging, right? Hello there, Luna.
yeah.
Hail to you. Patrick, you I don't know if you heard or listened or watched that last episode with Blake and I, but that's kind of what we were talking about, because he ran into some kind of like situations or scenarios where he's used to using certain terms like we were just talking about, things that are pretty native to heathen conversations, weird, orlog, philia, you know, um, some of these other terms and stuff. Have you ever had those types of experiences yourself, Patrick, where you knew what you were talking about, but the people around you were kind of like, "Say that again? Can you dumb it down for me, or can you explain it?" Or have you anything like that happen in your interactions with people?
Yes, absolutely. I keep hearing an echo. Is that showing up in the live here?
No, not on our
Good.
end.
Awesome. Happy to hear. So, anyways,
Yeah.
yes, absolutely. Yes, I have encountered that, especially with sharing my path, my passions, my interests, especially Highline. That's definitely one of them.
How have you been able to kind of help bridge the gap with people? So giving people like a word, and then they do, I've never heard that word before. How do you explain it, and how does that help? How can you help give people like a sense of belonging to a conversation when at times it may be seeming like we're talking over their heads or talking outside of their understanding of things?
I do my best to explain it in layman's terms and a way and a context that it can understand and appreciate it. Now, a bulk of those people will hear you, but then just kind of put it at the back of their head. Whereas other people keep asking questions and endeavor further into that interest. So it's
Mm.
really just a process, explain yourself the best that you can, and then follow up with those who are interested and dive deeper into said topics.
Mm.
I found the second as well. Like the latter part always seems to be the case over where I'm at. I've always found people just absolutely just interested in what I have to say, and they ask me questions about it, and they are always like they're like children almost, like when you tell them stories. That wide eyed of wonderment kind of
Mm.
look to their face,
Yeah. What about?
and
Yeah, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
No, I was to say, like, what about when maybe the term that you're using, they have their own idea of it, and sometimes that idea of what you're saying is off. Like the first thing I think of is how often sometimes we hear like the word weird get compared to fate. Because it's,
Yeah,
it's it's probably the closest thing that most people that aren't heathen would find a relation with, but it's not exactly the same as the concept of fate. It's a bit deeper than that.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
So I
yeah.
guess, yeah.
I do run into that problem sometimes, but I do have to sometimes will have to throw out that word fate to give an example. But
Mhm.
I do also say it's like fate, but it's a whole lot more. It's also encompasses your own choices that you have. And like I described it last time, I see it as like a road filled with like obstacles and crossroads and everything. And the road, you can't control where it leads to. You can't control what the obstacles are. You can't control what the crossroads look like. But you can choose which direction you go on the crossroads or how to deal with the obstacle itself.
Right. So it's not that the fate is like set in stone, that you're just, oh, it's just I'm fated to suck at life. It's, well, there's a choice to
Yeah.
be made here, and what
Yeah.
was where fate kind of intervened, or made things happen, or landed at a certain point. Like, you still have
Yeah.
the uh,
Yeah.
the weaving of that
Yeah.
to take place. Like, you still
Yeah.
have to be
Yeah.
present with that.
Yeah. Yeah. Fate is like the external factors that take place. Well, the choices you make are your own personal. It's your own personal stuff. It's like um, that's like you control. You can control.
Oh, we lost you there for a second, Blake.
Oh.
There you go. Try that
Okay.
one. Try starting over again there.
Okay. I was saying that what fate is basically the external factors that we can't control. And weird encompasses both that and the choices that we make and how we react to those, to fate itself, in a way. And I can't hear what you're saying.
Yeah, I hit a button that didn't touch. This new setup, guys. Learning curves, right? You're seeing it live, really happening. It's I'm not pantomiming. I'm not asking you to read my lips. This is not part of the live experience. But what is part of the live experience is like when you hit a button and it doesn't quite do the thing. You don't hit the spot. So you gotta finagle it a little bit. Sometimes hitting the spot. Sometimes you got to go back to it. That's what she said. Um, but anyway,
That's what Control Alt Delete is for.
that's why we have post edit, guys. No, this is a live show, so you get to see it all happening in real life. And then, if you missed the
Yeah.
live show, you can go back and watch it on my Patreon for just $1 a month, and you get to rewatch it and laugh it all over again. So, Patrick, with weird and the concept of it being kind of like fate, but also that you're not just fated to have whatever was dealt to you. Like, you have a hand in this deck that you're dealt, in a way. Like, you have to play the cards. You can't just hold them and not do anything with them.
Or ask for
How
a new hand.
or yeah, I mean, but that's part of it, right? Like, okay, well, this is I need a different hand, so but you got to do something with him. You can't just sit and be like, well, I hope the hand turns out differently, or I'm just stuck with this hand. No, you're not. You can change them out. You can cash them in. You can do whatever it takes to make the difference, right?
Absolutely. And
Yeah, go ahead, man.
it really hits on a deep level too, because a lot of things happen to us outside and inside our control. And now, ultimately, the die is cast. What is happening is happening. But again, what matters most, in my opinion, is how we choose to approach it. And this is a lifelong practice. This is something that's not done in a matter of hours, days, or even weeks or months.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lifelong journey and path. And there's going to be plenty of times that we take 3 steps back and 5 steps backward. And that serves as a purpose, is to know, yes, things are happening the way they are. And sometimes we need practice. We need more hardships or setbacks to really humble us and really put us in a position that we may not feel very comfortable being in, but ultimately it's serving a purpose.
That's a keen observation, kind of how like Luna says, like there's a control, we can't control what happened at the beginning of things. And then we also we can't control where the ending of things land, but we have the in between, the present, everything that's happening. So we control how we get from point A to point C, or what happens along the way. The beginning and the end are set, but what happens in the middle is up to us. Real quick, Rebecca is just chiming in, says, where is everybody from? We got a Washington State viewer from Rebecca Ferris over here on Facebook watching. So, Rebecca, I'm in Middle Tennessee. Blake?
I am from Athens, Alabama, in central North Alabama.
St. Louis, Missouri is the best reference I can give. I'm literally about 30 miles north of St. Louis.
Yeah, Patrick's in Missouri.
I'm from near Huntsville, Alabama. Basically, it's the Silicon Valley of the South, actually.
Oh man, look at you, Silicon Valley of the South. Okay, well Patrick could tell you where he's from, but he's from Missouri, so he literally would have to show you. Because that's the show me state, right, Patrick?
Hey, you got it right.
We got Whispers from Midgard says, Hailer Aesir God Dagger, everyone. Good day to you too. Whispers from Midgard. Thank you for tuning in and watching. Josh West, Josh West we got here is in North Carolina. Josh West and his partner Tanya, they will be at the Viking Experience coming up in, I think it's March. Just a couple of months away. So if you look up the Viking Experience out there in North Carolina, you can check out all what's going on out there. And Josh West will be out there with his business, him and his partner's business, the Norse Fox Creations. That's okay, Luna. We understood. We got you. Punctuations. Well, she said she forgot a punctuation. Oh, parentheses. We're not gonna ding you for that one, Luna. It's okay.
We're not the grammar police.
Yeah, I was talking on mute before, so I think we everybody gets a pass.
And Luna is a very great friend of mine too. Just as FYI, very fundamental part of my group, a great friend, and just want to thank you, Luna, for being here. Appreciate you.
Yeah, thanks, Luna, who's from Michigan, and yeah, she's very, very present and welcoming new members to your Highland group there, Patrick. Michael Thacker's in the mountains of Kentucky. Very nice. Little bit of everything. People from all over the place. Rebecca has a question. Sorry. What do you do and how do you respond when Christians approach you and... Oh, there you go, Patrick. We got you back here, buddy. So anyways, Rebecca was asking, what do you do or how do you respond when Christians approach you and want to pray over you? I have them knocking on my door all the time, and it is so aggravating, and I don't want to be rude or anything. Blake, do you want to answer in your own way? I'm sure that between the three of us, we'll have similar, maybe different answers. So
I can't hear.
Can you hear us, Patrick?
I hear you. I just can't hear Jesse.
Oh.
What about now?
Can you hear him?
Yeah, we can hear you. I can hear you.
I can hear you.
Okay.
Can you hear Jesse though? You can.
Yes, I can.
I can hear you too, Patrick. Tell him I can hear him.
He can hear you.
I can't hear him. Damn it all.
Tell him to try to rejoin. Tell him to try to
try to rejoin.
Yeah, I will. Yeah. I'll be right back, guys.
All right.
Give me 2 seconds.
Let me just do this. Go ahead, Blake.
All right. Um, well, it depends on how. I usually comment joke if somebody says, "Have you found Jesus?" kind of moment. I always do this. No, why don't you come in and help me look for him?
Is he lost?
Yeah, like I didn't know he was lost. But but usually if somebody asks me to pray over them, I'll be like, yeah, sure, you can pray if you want to, but as long as I can do my thing with you,
Right.
fair.
Yeah.
It's a compromise.
Yeah, I mean, that's one way of looking at it for sure. I'm the type of person who, if anybody, I don't care what their religion is, if they want to pray over me, I am the type of person who, uh, if I believe in my gods and my goddesses and my Vatir, my whites, my spirits, my ancestors, right? If I believe in all these forces that exist in the seen and unseen, um, then I would be remiss if I discounted or discredited the existence of one other deity or being. So if you're a Christian that approaches me and wants to quote unquote pray over me, then by all means, I'll gladly accept all of the blessings that are out there from
Oh yeah.
any deity that wishes to be engaged. Now, do I do I believe that your Christian God will do anything for me? Probably not, just because we are opposed to one another in our, you know what I'm saying? Like uh, everything as a former Christian myself, everything from the Christian doctrine abhors pagans and heathens. It's oil and water.
Yeah. I
So
think I differ on that though. I think that the Christian God would actually still bless us regardless.
okay,
Yeah,
um,
I will.
just like just like how our gods would bless the Christians regardless.
okay, Patrick, what about you?
I kind of agree with Blake. It's Jesse, you've heard me talk about this several times. Is intentions. Like there's times I was about to have a surgery and I was a pagan, and still I'm a pagan, obviously. But I asked for prayers on my own personal page, and people outside my faith offered their prayers, and I accepted it. It's just
Hmm.
I feel like that energy and that love transcends any practice or faith.
Hmm.
It's just who you are as a whole and what you offer, what you stand for.
Okay, that sounds almost like well, so Whispers from Midgard says, I let them pray. I'll even bow my head with them. Be engaged in the moment with them, show some, I guess, respect, reverence. I mean, we are talking about our dealings with the divine, our interactions with the holy, what that perception, what that, how that manifests itself to different people. There is, I think, a due amount of benevolence and reverence to be given to the holy in whatever form it takes. And I'm
My
not
only
I'm not ashamed to do that either. Yeah, go ahead.
my challenge is though is the opposite. When Christians ask me to pray,
For them, or just like what
like
in
when
like
my
what context?
say like my family's Christian, of course, and sometimes I always dread getting asked to lead the prayer for over say the blessing over the meal because I'm
Mhm.
tempted to give the heathen blessing over the meal and not a Christian blessing over the meal.
Has that ever happened for you? Like, have you been at a family get together and they ask you to pray and you don't give a Christian blessing of the meal, or has that ever happened?
It's been a long time since I was asked, but
Oh,
I've always politely denied because I was like, you do not want me to do that.
yeah, right. I mean, I'll do it, but it's going to be done my way, and you might not.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
and
get it.
I
I
don't
do have a
want
question
I
for
don't want
Blake though.
yeah
Sorry, go ahead.
I don't want to disrespect anybody in their own house though.
Right.
So my question would be again, I don't know you on a personal level at all, but hypothetically, how do you think they would handle offering your intentions and your own blessing that you see fit?
Rephrase that, will you? Sorry, that was
So
kind of.
you're fine. So basically, hypothetically, if you were given the opportunity to give your own heathen and pagan.
Oh, I think he froze.
Oh,
I think what he was, I guess everything like with what Patrick was saying is like, our
yeah.
intentions or the intentions behind what was being said. Let's give him a chance to try and rejoin. And in the meantime, I'll catch up on some
Okay.
comments. So Luna said, you're welcome. Yeah, the Viking experience is March 21st, 22nd, 21st through the 22nd, and the 28th through the 29th. So it's 2 weekends. So you guys can just find it online. Just look up the Viking experience in North Carolina, and you'll find details about that. Haha, can you hear me now? Yeah, we're having. This is kind of just, I guess, part of the experience nowadays with remote screen experiences. Sometimes people. I'm gonna move him off of here just till we get him back. Cowboy from Midgard says, I always tell them in the nicest way to. Oh, sorry. Cowboy on YouTube says, I always tell them in the nicest way to go away. Yeah. So, I mean, sometimes people, everybody's different. You're going to get different responses from different people. Sometimes people just don't feel comfortable with having another faith or belief or anything pushed upon them. So praying over
Oh yeah.
somebody or praying on somebody might seem a bit pushy, and that makes people feel uncomfortable. So
Oh yeah.
respect that. And Rebecca, to answer your question, how we respond and how we deal with things with people is what's worked for us. Maybe it's something that you're having to find a way to deal with yourself, but definitely, don't necessarily take our word for it, right? I mean, find what's if it makes you uncomfortable, then just be kind and upfront and say, hey, I
Yeah.
appreciate the thought, but I would rather you not, or something along those lines. You don't have to be ugly about it. Voodoo Viking says, I just tell people that Jesus makes great tacos over at the taqueria. Jesus.
Jesus.
Yours too, huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, it depends. Also, he also makes some great churros too.
Oh man. Hey, you can't knock a good mole, let me tell you.
I think he also makes good lasagna over at the Greek plate, or that's Italian.
Close.
That's
But I
gonna
mean,
be-
they're neighbors.
yeah,
I don't know of a Greek lasagna, but
yeah.
yeah.
Where they're Greek, I don't know much Greek dishes.
So Rebecca was raised Jehovah's Witness. That's a wild sect of Christianity. Left when they were 14. So it's been hard to listen to all the Christian teachings at all. I listen to them and all, but when I ask them questions, they answer my questions with a question. I know exactly how that is. I was raised in a very cult like Christian themed environment growing up. I know what that's like to be faced with if when things are questioned, to be answer a question with a question. Um, it's super frustrating. To share a story similar with Rebecca, says Michael Thacker. He was at a store lately, and a guy wanted to give me a Bible. He declined, and he asked if I didn't believe in Jesus, and then started uh, preaching out of text. Yeah. Oh, here he
One
comes. Here
guy,
comes Patrick.
Jesus Christ! God damn.
Hey now, we've been talking about Christianity. You're always over here
Oh,
invoking their main guy.
look at me.
By Odin's
Shut
beard,
up.
by Loki's taint or something.
Oh, the one who should not be named. Yes.
He who shall
Yes.
not be named Voldemort. Yeah.
Oh, I was watching Harry Potter just now, so.
Yeah, I know you were on that kick. Yeah.
Anyways, Blake, to go back to what I was asking you,
hmm
how do you think your people and your family would handle you doing your own opening prayer for a meal or anything like that, based on
Well,
your intentions?
well, I really honestly don't know that because I have never attempted that. I've always declined, as I previously said, that I don't want to disrespect anybody out of their own home either. So that's the reason why I don't do that.
I respect that.
My family knows about my heathen ways right now, all except for my one of my grandmothers, who I don't think she knows, but she might. Who knows? Because a lot of my aunt, I think I have an aunt or uncle or cousins that follow me over on Facebook, so they know. And I think my birth mother knows somehow, but even though I don't talk to her as much, but that's all I can speculate right now. But my dad, my mom, and my grandmother on my mom's side all know that I am pagan. And my grandmother who knows that I'm pagan knows it in the I told her in the most despicable way I could out of anger. I I did it in response to something and I regret that, but it's done.
Yeah.
And but they support me no matter what, so I'm blessed in that much.
And thank you for answering that.
I've had experiences too with my own, blood family in the past. I I've learned a lot since I did this. What I'm talking about, what I'm about to tell you right now. But my parents knew that I was heathen years ago because they asked me, and I couldn't lie to them. And I said, no, I don't, believe the way that you brought me up. I found something else. And when they probe and they ask, I had to tell them, Well, that obviously was met. I shouldn't say obviously because not all situations are the same, but my parents did not respond with an accepting way about it. So when I go and visit them, thereafter, I'm like, well, at least I don't have to hide it anymore. And I would wear shirts that said heathen on it. I carried my hammer outside of my garments, and I was uh, I wasn't shy about what I believed in their very home. And later on, it was like, how rude, like how disrespectful of you to, so what? You believe what you believe. Don't bring that into our house and flaunt it, is what it felt like to them. And I got to, I had to like examine the situation. I got to go, yeah, man, that would be
Yeah.
like, if I invite people who are not heathen over to my house and they come in, you know, quoting Bible verses and openly displaying their Christianity. It's like, I don't care that that's what you want to believe in, and that's what you find,
Yeah.
a resolve or you feel comfortable with. But you don't have to come in my house and be all flaunty about it. And you know, I had
I
my
don't
own.
mind. To me, I don't mind them when they come into my if they do mine because I try to lead by example to them that
Mhm.
I'm accepting of theirs in my own home, and that, but I don't. But I still respect their home enough, and I had to have stopped wearing my shirt that says heathen. I believe that it's the same shirt that you have.
It was a
One from
Grimfrost shirt.
Frost. Yep, Grim
Yep.
Frost.
Yep.
Um,
Nice.
does yours come with the holes as well?
Well, mine was I know. I mean, except for my neck and my two arms and where I put my body through, like it came with four
Yeah.
holes. But besides that, no.
I mean, I've somehow I've got holes in mine in the front somehow, but
Oh dang.
but I do wear my Mjolnir out in public around them. But it's not a big Mjolnir anymore. It's a small Mjolnir.
Yeah. Well, in public is one thing, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
not everybody's the same, and not every situation's the same. But
yeah.
I wouldn't go back. Like both of my parents are passed now, but my sister lives in their home, and I wouldn't return to that place, and I wouldn't go back with my hammer hanging out and a big heathen shirt that says Till Valhalla or anything like that. Like I wouldn't do that anymore, and I shouldn't have done that to
Well,
begin with. It was bad form
neither
for me.
me. Like neither me either. I may wear some of the band shirts and stuff because they probably don't know what they are. But I still do. Again, I do wear my Mjolnir to my grandmother's house
Mhm.
when I go over there to my mom's house. But it's a small one. It's a tiny one. It's very hard to see if you don't get up on close to it. And That's what I've actually downsized for a reason because I didn't want to just be that ostentatious about it with those big Mjolnirs everybody has.
Oh
Russell
yeah,
any feathers or anything like that.
yeah, yeah.
With my
That,
family, I feel very grateful, and I hope you don't mind me sharing this, but
yeah, please go ahead.
going back to when I first started following Heilong is my parents, beautifully enough, were very supportive of what I was doing, and they knew full well that I was on my own practice, on my own path. They didn't ask questions, and I respect that because a lot of it would go over their head, but even still, they know I was bettering myself, meeting great people, and continue to do so every day. But funny story here is when I got back home from my first Highland ritual back in 2020, I changed my profile picture, and I had my whole Highland gear on. I had my face paint, and then one of my uncles, one of those newborn Christian types, you know, if you know,
Mm.
and he left a comment. He's like, Patrick, you need to come to Jesus. He just all these, attack on me. And I told my dad about this. He's like, that's messed up. I'm like, wow. My dad, hardcore Roman Catholic, is like, yeah, that's messed up.
Wow.
And just like he's just of sound mind. My parents, I love them very much for very several reasons, but just to have them again, they don't follow my path, but they respect it. Do they wish to know more? No.
Yeah.
But if on the off chance they do, I'd be more than happy to share what I have to share. But even still, it's that coexistence and that understanding, that unspoken rule of like, hey, if it doesn't harm the cows,
Yeah.
why bother?
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, and to that point, I would say like my in-laws are definitely not heathen. They don't know the first thing about it. They're very, they're the boomer generation. They are very, conservative Christian types. But you see over here above, right up here, this the Midgard Musings plaque right over here, right over my shoulder. It's got matches that are burnt into the bind rune of Midgard Musings, the double manas bind runes. These are matches that were burned and glued to a plaque that were made by my father-in-law, who is again, boomer generation, conservative Christian type, doesn't know the first thing about what I do, but respects what I do and knows what something like that would mean to me. And he made that for me out of his own, he took the time, he got the materials, he made that for me. And he's got something else that's further up out of frame. That's a Mjolnir done the same way. Burned matches. Patrick, you've seen it
Yes, I
because
have.
you've been here. You know what I'm talking about.
I couldn't help to show my expression when you said that because I remember saying that. It's very beautiful, very
Yeah,
beautiful.
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
from
My
a
mom.
family member who's not heathen, but who respects and doesn't infiltrate or try to persuade me or sway me in any one direction.
I am very fortunate to have my mom, my adopted mom, because she isn't heathen either, but she very much. I mean, she's very much Christian, but she is very asking of questions about my belief system,
Hmm.
and so far my answers have gotten a lot better over the years.
Yeah,
Explaining it and explaining the animistic side of things, and she is like just blown away by how clear things are to her, and it makes sense to her what I believe in, but she still does says she doesn't accept it completely, but she does. She will accept the fact that this makes sense.
And that's so damn beautiful. And again, I hope I don't mind me interjecting here, but just like when
Yeah,
people outside of our faith and practice really see the harsh realities to a lot of other people, it's not devil worshiping. We
yeah,
don't acknowledge that figure, that
yeah.
archetype, that person.
right.
It's
Well,
just
there's
so
not a singular devil in the Bible mentioned anyway.
no, it's not. But a lot of people do see as such. Like you
Yeah,
can't believe in God without the devil, and so on and so forth. I'm like, it's very polarizing, but I'm not going to dive into that semantics there, but all the
Yeah.
same though, just that awareness and that beautiful experience, be it family,
Hmm.
friend, coworker, those rare few who are like, I don't completely understand what you're saying, but I know it's not as dark and abysmal as many people and their former self had it portrayed.
Yeah.
And it's a very beautiful experience.
Got another former Catholic, Whispers from Midgard. They said they were raised around Catholics, or I get sorry, not maybe not a former Catholic. I misrepresented there. They were raised around Catholics, but was encouraged to find your own path. Their grandma had them read some Bible verses, but she was okay if it didn't stick. So that's that's giving the person a chance to be educated about something, but to find their own way. We got another Sarah O'Brien on YouTube says that they had a Christian friend ask them to pray for her and family last night, very recently. Um, Prayed to air for rain, or she prayed to air for rain for them, and she just appreciated the prayer. So they grew up Christian and they know um, to just let them pray and bow, like show that respect. I think that's it's a beautiful thing when two differing beliefs can be civil towards
Converge.
one another, and like, yeah, I'm not trying to convert you or switch your mind or change your mind, but let's both consult our divine figures. Let's both consult our sacred beings and I don't say channel that energy, but you know it's all from the same source. What name you want to put to it, it's all coming from the same source. I think
Yeah.
you go back
And
far enough, it all
Yeah.
originates from the same place.
Yeah.
and coming from
Well,
sorry, go ahead. Blake, go ahead.
I was saying that most religions are formed from the climate that they are in.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, your
Yeah.
Absolutely, without a
environment
doubt.
absolutely
Yeah.
Yeah.
informs your worldview.
That,
Absolutely.
that's how like Odin had usurped Tyr as the chief deity. There was a greater need for him to be that chief deity up in the north compared to mainland Europe.
That's an interesting take on it, for sure. You know,
Hmm.
Crystal Dawn on Facebook says it helps not having local friends, so no one really has any problems. I guess that's one way of looking at you don't have people that getting offended by, then you ain't got to worry about it.
And I was gonna
Um,
say, being part of the Highland tribe and following them and being among many great people, you know, something I respect immensely about the opening ceremony to their rituals is,
mhm.
you know, remember that we all are brothers, all people, and beasts and trees and stone and wind. And those words resonate very deeply with me and many other people
Mm.
because a lot of people come from different backgrounds, celebrate different Sabbaths, holidays, holy tides, and collectively we're honoring the sacred. We all come from the one great being that was always there before people lived and named it. And that really, again, it hits on a very deep root of this great tree, and those roots may spread out in various different ways, but all the same, we come to that great tree, that great understanding, that great life experience that we're all trying to endeavor to understand, learn, and grow from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful
And,
example that we see here. Sorry, Blake. I'll let you get in just a second. I just want to acknowledge there's some dialogue going back and forth between we got Sarah O'Brien on YouTube and Whispers from Midgard. There was a typo made. Where Sarah said they prayed to air for rain. It was a typo, and she, oh, excuse me, I'm not a very good typist, but there's still this sentiment. There's this shared um, kindness in the comments here between these two folks, saying, hey, I hope the people that are ill feel better, sorry for this hardship, and there's such kindness
oh
being shown
yeah.
in the comments, guys and gals. So thank you for being kind to one another and for not raising a fuss over a typo. Why'd you pray to air for rain? She's the physician of the gods. Why would you do that? Blah blah blah. Right? No need for that. And you guys are doing great by being so kind. So I do just want to kind of just give an acknowledgement of thanks to Whispers from Midgard and Sarah for showing their kindness in the comments. So good on yous there.
Thanks for bringing that to our attention too. That's
Oh
really nice
yeah.
to see these comments because I can't see them, but
Yeah.
having that
Yeah, they're just
mutual-
flashing up. They're just like flashing where I see it.
Yeah,
I
and
know,
I
that's
don't
why
want to
I guess-
ignore people because it's, they may be on a device and stuff, but I'm, like a phone like a lot of you guys are. So maybe you don't see it, but I do want to acknowledge it. We do have a lot of comments that are coming up. So in between our conversation, I'm trying to moderate as best I can. Thank you, Randy. It is a nice plaque. Blake, I'm not sure if I took you too off track there with your next thought. Did you have something you were gonna add?
I was gonna say something to Patrick here about Halong. My mom likes Halong. Does that
That's
introduce
awesome.
her to her? She likes that whole vibe, that whole mentality, the chanting and stuff. She was listening to it with me one time going down the car, and she said, "This is actually pretty good."
That's badass.
And speaking of Halong, Jakob Lund, the drummer from Halong, is going to be in Huntsville in May.
I'm so jealous, and
I hope to be there.
I got to play for him last
Can't
year. I got to play just by myself for him last year, and that was a lot of pressure for me. But I hope I get to do that again. We're doing the same thing that we did for our All-Star event last year. We're doing a Beltane event and doing the whole drumming weekend thing, and that's going to be so awesome. And I'm going to be. I get the day off on the 9th for that Friday, so I'm doing the whole weekend nonstop.
So, remind me again. Have you been to one of his workshops before?
Yes. Last year.
I'm extremely jealous. Jacob, again, speak for a personal hand experience. Yeah. Not to showboat or brag or anything, but I got to hang out with Hilo 3 times, and they're very great people. Jacob, especially, they're all very down to earth.
Yeah.
Very easy to talk to, and something
he's a big nerd. He's a big music nerd as well. He'll talk about drums with you all day.
And I'm actually in the works of trying to work out a payment plan of sorts to buy one of his drums, and I would love nothing more to have one of his works part of my practice. But again, going back to Highline, I could talk about Jesse knows this. Heart, but
well, me and him, me and Blake here attended both of our first High Lung rituals at the same time.
Gosh,
like I was my first and it was his first, and we were at the same venue.
Yeah.
Like we've been talking online back and forth for however long, and then the first time he and I met in person was at a High Lung ritual at the same High Lung ritual, both of our first time. So we got our proverbial cherries popped together.
Yeah, I wish we should have planned. I wish we had planned that out where we're just like sitting next to each other. That'd be kind of even better.
I was gonna ask that too. Like, how far apart were you guys?
He was behind me a bit. I was
behind me. I'm about 3 rows. I like what 4 or 5 rows behind you.
I think so.
So is this like a GA kind of thing, or like what, assigned seating, or what? Because Jesse, forgive me if I asked you before, but how was the?
They had a front pit, and it was like an amphitheater all for the rest
so
of the way
up.
up.
Leveled. It wasn't like elevated like a theater.
Amphitheater style. Yeah, so like every row behind you got higher and higher and higher as you got towards the back.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was in the very last row before the pit, before the standing room. So I was as close to the stage as I could get without being in the standing room. And the only reason for that was my wife was there, and she wanted to be comfortable. So being in a standing room only space where she couldn't sit was kind of out of the question. But I could reach out almost and touch the stage. I was the standing room.
There was not a bad view in that house. There was not a bad view in that place.
No,
that's awesome.
Not at all.
That's special. That's very special.
And the sound was just amazing. It was like I was right over the speaker, the right speaker, and I was feeling every beat of the drums just hit me like in my chest.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, dude, this is awesome.
gonna
Just
get
want
caught
to
up.
show off some little Highland merch here. I'm wearing one
Yeah,
of the shirts I bought when I first hung out with them. And
everybody
again,
with
I
their
don't
high
want to
lung.
take away from this stream too much talking about High Lung, but
You guys both showed up with your high lung gear on, and
you
I'm over.
did? No, show me again. I didn't see it.
Show 'em, Blake.
This is a chore T-shirt from Huntsville.
Yeah, I got the same shirt. Turn
Oh,
around.
that's
yeah.
awesome.
Turn around. Show 'em the back. It's got
Can
the
you see? If I
Oh,
lined up,
hell yeah.
yeah.
That's awesome.
I think the back of my shirt has the tour dates on it.
Yeah, so did mine.
Oh,
I
okay,
got
so-
that one as well. Basically the same one. It has the same emblem on the back of my shirt. I think it does.
Yeah.
And Jesse and I, we have some special High Lung encounters too. One artist, part of the band, or the tribe, Jesse made a few videos about this artist.
Oh,
And
Mira.
I have the honor and privilege of undertaking something very special. So, after hanging out with High Lung, I believe it was my first or second time, but Mira Seti. You know, Jessie made some very awesome videos about a couple of her videos, and she really loved it and appreciated it. And I had the honor of passing a message on to Jessie. And I think it was Far the Mountain, my first experience. There we go. There it is. It's just so special. You know, he never got to meet them in person yet. But again, carrying that journey and that undertaking was very beautiful. And to be in the position to carry on that was just beyond amazing.
Yeah. I wish I would have known. I would have been. I wasn't hanging out with the owner of the meadery at the time, before then. But if I was, like I am now, I probably would have gotten to go to the after party because they had it at the meadery, and I actually got to touch the artwork that Kai did on the wall of the meadery in Huntsville.
Yeah, Kai painted a whole freaking wall
I
of the
saw.
meadery. Yeah, it's
Yep,
it's
I saw
the warrior snail.
yeah.
Oh man.
It's very cool.
And I was like, they better frame that or something if they ever leave that place out of the
Take
mill.
the wall down and bring it with them or something. Damn.
Yeah. Well, they almost lost their spot. The meadery almost lost their spot last year because their major production
I remember that.
was kind of low. So they because of the elevator situation, they're fixing to get that fixed, by the way. But they finally because their meat storage area is down below.
Mm-hmm.
Because the floors can't support the weight of 5 tons of meat.
That'll do it. All right.
Yeah.
Let me catch up on some comments. So,
Yeah,
none of my
please
family's understanding at all of my heathen ways. I'm okay with that, though. Not only think that it sucks is none of them talk to me. This is Rebecca again. So yeah, it's not uncommon for to have that disconnect between family, especially when it comes to beliefs. It's a tough reality that a lot of us are facing. Crystal Dawn says that they got a Bible from their grandmother every Christmas, and I give it away to people who want that type of thing. I still have my great grandmother's Bible. I'll never get rid of that. That's still a sacred family heirloom. You know what I mean? I keep it. I don't. It's sacred because it's a family heirloom. My great grandmother was 98 years old when she passed away, and I still remember her. And so that's
a piece of them.
Yeah, exactly.
And they
it
give
is
it to you.
Yeah,
And to
I inherited
you
that.
choose to give it away to anyone who pursues that faith. I love that and respect that you give it to someone who can appreciate. But all the same, though, is me. I'm a sentimental person, very, very sentimental. If my mom or my dad gives me something Catholic or Christian, I'll keep it very close to my altar.
Yeah,
I look past the practice. I see them as who they are. They love me. They care for me. It's just like we're going back talking about prayers. Like, I see many of my friends and family who ask for prayers, and I do so, and I'm like sending healing energy, sending love and light. And that's very loosely translated. But all the same, though, we separate in our practice, but we unify in our struggles and our
Yeah.
accomplishments.
Yeah. And I do the same thing as well as with my Reiki as well. I'll send Reiki to people that for that love and light and that energy.
Sure. We've got a great question that Michael Thacker posted about 12 minutes ago. So, Michael, if you're still watching, sorry that we got to this a little bit late. But he asks, do you guys believe that long distance can affect Frith negatively? Um,
May I?
Go
Patrick,
ahead.
yeah, you want to go first?
Absolutely. In my personal experience, strictly based on that, no. Because Jesse, you know where we're going with this. Me and you, we live 5 hours and 30 minutes on a good day apart. And when we first met, we never met each other. I just saw you on YouTube. Again, I've told the story numerous times, but I don't get tired of saying it. It's just I saw you, I experienced you, and then I got to know you. And for the longest time, we didn't get to meet in person. But then, God's be praised, 2021 or 2022 arrived, and I finally got to see you. And then the next year, and then the next year. It's just So yeah, again, to answer that, no, I don't believe so. But I can easily see how it could potentially damage. But also, it's going back to the engagement with the individual, and that could vary wildly. It's just like any relationship, be it spiritual, romantically, professionally, distance could easily very well play a role. But again, going back to the meat and potatoes from what I was trying to say, in my personal experience, no, I don't. And I'm very happy to say that and to show that.
I'm gonna bounce off of this one here and say that I again as Patrick here said that I don't believe that it doesn't negatively affect Frith as long as you are able to put the work into it. As both parties put into the work in that relationship over the distance, that's when it still remains the strongest. But if none of y'all just say we're going our separate rate, we're going far away, and then all of a sudden y'all don't talk to each other as often, or don't talk to or speak to each other, or write or call at least a few times, then that friend can die.
Hmm. Yeah, I think I would add to what you both have said with the sentiment that distance is not a thing that can impact Frith just the same as closeness, right? So long distance, short distance. The road between friends is frequently walked. You know what I mean? And there's something in the
Yeah.
Havamal about this where long is the way and winding is the road. Like that whole thing.
I
But
love that.
when it comes to Frith, right? First of all, it has to be established with the understanding of what Frith really is. This is a hot topic, at least in the local communities that I'm connected with. There's been stuff I think shared recently online about, oh, this is what I think Frith is, and I go, listen, Frith is what it is. It's not what you think it is. It's not what I think it is. It's not what he or she or they think it is. It is what it is. Let's stop with this. Let me come up with my own idea of this. No, it is what it is, and what it is this. Um, yeah, I understand what it meant in an arch heathen or an old ways concept, right? Frith meant kinship. It meant inviolability, like sacred inviolability, reciprocal inviolability. I have to protect you because you're my kinsperson. You're my kinsman, my kinswoman. I have to be at your side. I have to protect you, regardless of whether I like you or not. You are my kin, and I am oath bound. I am frith bound with you. It was more about security and protection than it was about love and peace and everything that people like to try and associate it with nowadays. So if the rudimentary and by the way, if people are looking for an understanding of what frith is, you have to. There's no question. You have to read The Culture of the Teutons by by Groenbeck, Wilhelm Groenbeck. Volumes 1 and 2, you have to read it. It's fundamental reading. You have to read it. It's free. If you Google it, there's a PDF online. You can read it for free. You don't even have to buy The Culture of the Teutons. But if you want to understand what Frith is from a real archheathen, pre-Christian Germanic person's worldview, that's essential reading. It's essential knowledge. But anyway, going back to it has to be established first and foremost. So once it's established, the distance doesn't really matter, because your understanding of what Frith means doesn't make a difference about what the distance is. I'll make a way. I'll find a way to make good on my Frith with this person and their Frith with me. And it's reciprocal. It's not a one-way street. Yeah, it's understood and it's realized, and it's a social construct that exists between people that are existing in a kinship relationship.
And
So
if
I don't
I
think
may
that it's
say,
that's fine. I don't think that it's really distance bound or not bound. I think that once it's established and truly established, that the distance doesn't make a negative or whatever impact. So yeah, go ahead, Patrick.
and I want to say it will be tested,
Sure.
be it long distance
Always.
or short term. It's always going to be tested. And what's important is going back to the roots and being real with yourself and the other party. Will it last? And those are questions you need to ask right away, but consider them. Like Jesse, in a way, talking one-on-one here, I'm very grateful we met long distance, because I feel like that was like a test, so to speak, like really seeing where this is gonna go. Like we chatted for a little bit, became friends on Facebook, and then it just took a life of its own. And that's, in my personal opinion, the best way it could have gone. From a distance, and though we live 5.5 hours away from each other, distance a lot of times, Jesse, speaking one-on-one here again, is it feels like you live like 5 minutes away from me a lot of the time. Your spirit is with me, and that's something that could be aimed and sought after, but again, it has to be organic. You can't chase after it. You can't pursue it too hard. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be.
Yeah, you have to nurture it, right? Like any
Just
good
like any
thing.
plant or any kind of like relationship, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. So let's see what else we got. Speaking of prayers, Rebecca Ferris is following up on prayers. Is there any way that I could get a prayer for my health? I haven't been feeling very well at all. I have vascular issues, seizures, and all week my body is just not having it. Thank you, if so. Otherwise, I'm just going to sit and listen. Rebecca, again, this is a comment that Rebecca posted a little while ago. So it's probably about 15 minutes. So Rebecca, if you're still here, thank you for this comment, and thank you for, first of all, kind of being vulnerable in this context. I mean, we're here talking. We guys three here know each other, but we're also streaming live publicly, and to come forth and to be vulnerable like this in this way is very courageous, I would say.
I respect it immensely,
Yeah.
personally.
Yeah.
So whatever I can offer in terms of healing and comfort for you, for your courageousness, I would be happy to send that.
I'll light some Palo Santo for her,
Thank you, Patrick.
and thank her for, again, like Jesse said, just having the courage to be vulnerable, feeling where you're feeling, and feeling safe to share with us. I myself very humbled and very grateful to be part of this first live stream for Midgard Musings, but also this being company with Blake, my brother Jesse, and all of you guys participating.
Yeah.
It is great, and we've been going for an hour or so now. We're going to keep rolling. If either one of you gentlemen need to drop or you want to drop it, by all means, go right ahead.
I'm fine.
I'm gonna keep trucking along here. We got a few more comments to go through. Thank you, Patrick, for that. Um, Crystal Dawn is responding, I think, to Rebecca. It says, "Of course, I will light some incense for you before I go to bed tonight, and I hope that you feel better." Say, man, this is what I'm talking about, guys and gals,
I'll
and
send Reiki as
creatures
well.
and everything. Thank you, Blake.
Actually, I'm actually in the process of doing it right now. I can do it like subconsciously. So I'm
That's
doing it.
That's
awesome.
what's up. That's what's up. Yeah, she says I've also had a mini stroke or two since last year. I tried my hardest not to let it get me down, even though I'm having or having to relearn a lot of the runes and such. And it stinks, but I'm getting them through slowly and surely. Rebecca, I got to give you props. The runes are a lifelong study anyway, and the runes are mysteries. You know, that's what rune means. Rune are mysteries, are these secrets. You know, so the symbols, the staves, the symbology, you know, whatever you want to call them, are yes, they are lessons. They are things to be learned and memorized and recited or whatever. It's a lot. And with the attacks of the mind that a stroke can impart, the fact that you're still here and chatting with us and everything and being a part of this is a testament to the resilience of your spirit. So very
Rebecca,
good.
you're on the right path. I just have to say this. I mean, despite what you're dealing with, again, I don't know you on a personal level by any means, but you're doing good. You're doing fantastic. Face your feelings, embrace it, and asking for help is a great step in the right direction. And again, not to sound like a broken record, but I'm very happy you feel safe in sharing that's with us. It's very honorable, and I'll be doing my very best to keep your name in my heart and upon my altar this evening. And I wish you the very best.
And thank you, gentlemen, for being so kind with your words and with your thoughts. Um, there's some back and forth, I think, looking like between Rebecca and Crystal about the Bibles, and they were like dollar store, you know, or Dollar Tree finds or whatever. But let's see, Rebecca had a Russian neighbor from old country, but her dad passed away. Gave her Bible. Yeah, so some more heirloom things. Um,
I'm gonna hop
mm,
off screen, but I'll be very much hearing what you're saying.
yeah, sure, man. Do your
Cultish and
thing.
whatnot.
Yeah. Yeah, if it was something like that, yes, of course, I would keep it, but the Dollar General Bibles she gives me is hoping I'll convert back. Yeah. So there's intent behind those actions. You know, there's intention with getting something that is not, you know, an heirloom or whatever. It's it's
Oh
it's
yeah,
it's got like an ulterior
yeah,
motive, right? Yeah. So I mean, understanding the spirit
yeah,
behind what is being done or the intention behind what's being done.
yeah.
Crystal Dawn says, "I'm glad that you explained what frith was. I'm not heathen and was too embarrassed to ask." Listen, everybody that may be watching this, you know, I get we may get people that are not necessarily heathen. No question is a dumb question. Please feel free to
Oh
ask.
yeah,
This is not a space, and this is not none of the people here are going to shame you for asking questions, myself included. If I have anybody on here that tries to be that way, I'll catch it real quick and I'll cut it down. So everybody here right now is definitely not like that. So feel free to ask any questions that
well,
you may have.
yeah. One of my
Um,
guilty pleasures in life, though, is I would actually just own a Bible, like, but it would be like original Latin Bible, like an old one.
oh, really?
I would just to have on my bookshelf, because I am kind of like a book hoarder a little bit. Well, not as much, but
Mm,
I do like to collect books a little bit. So
I see that.
that's
Yeah,
something. I
for
mean,
the nostalgia.
yeah, I couldn't read the Latin, but even if I couldn't read it, I would just be like, I have it there,
Yeah,
because
I could
some of
fake my
those
way through.
because some of those old Latin Bibles, they're so beautifully done.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, and
Um,
they have like some have artwork in them.
oh
You
yeah,
know?
you got to think like what was put into it, like the work that was put into, you
Oh
know,
yeah.
scribe it in that calligraphy or the
Oh
artwork
yeah.
and everything. It's beautiful. Just
Yeah.
acknowledge Randy real quick. Says culture of the Teutons is good. It's organized in a way that builds on itself, which makes it fairly easy to read. And when it comes to academia, guys and gals, that I think is one of the biggest hurdles that people find hard getting over is the unreadability of academic work. It's so tedious and it's
Oh yeah.
so uninteresting, right? Culture of the Teutons, as Randy points out, um,
Yeah.
again, it builds on itself. It is written in a way that makes it easy for the non-academic to follow. So,
Yeah.
essential reading aside, it's, don't be deterred by the fact that it's 2 volumes. Oh my God, I can't think about reading 2 pages, or let alone 2 volumes. It is just Google it. Like, you can
Yeah.
find a PDF online that's free, and scroll, and you'll see just
Yeah.
how readable it
I,
is.
bet- but it's hard to find the actual physical copy of that though.
Last I checked, I think Amazon had some copies, but I don't know what they're going for, what the prices are. A lot of
Yeah.
times, those academic works
Yeah.
tend to run up
Yeah.
the
No,
bank,
guys.
as it will, as
Yeah.
it were.
Yeah. It's on my reading. It's also on my reading list as well, but I haven't gotten around to it.
Let's see what else here. So Rebecca says, after my last mini stroke, I honestly forgot what frith was, and thank you for explaining it. Well, glad that you were here to be a part of the revisiting of that concept. It is a deep one, as it were. What else we got here? If anyone wants to add me, they always my kindred in my life, near or far. So Rebecca's kind of putting it out here, guys. Please, and everybody, please, when
Yeah.
stuff like this is shared or posted, please be respectful of the person. I don't want people, creeping on people for unnecessary reasons. But when somebody says, "Hey, feel free to
Yeah.
add me," they're doing so because they feel comfortable. So please be respectful when doing so. But the
Yeah.
invitation is there.
And Rebecca, I just want to interject here upon you gentlemen, is my mental health Highland group. Rebecca, you have a place here if you see to join us. You're going to be among very great people, great friends of mine, and mutual, supporters. If you feel so inclined, you're more than welcome in my group, and you'll have the best of intentions and support.
Thank you, Patrick. I'll be sure to. So Patrick's group is, what is it? What I think you recently renamed it to Hailung Tribe. Hailung, what was
I
it?
don't think I renamed it just anytime recently, but it's the High Long Mental Health Support Group.
Okay,
I need
I'll
to rename it though. That's a good idea. It's a long
well,
one.
no, I don't think it was, but anyway, yeah, I'll if you guys are so Rebecca, you're on my, obviously you're watching on Facebook. I tagged the group. I tagged Patrick's group in my recent post announcing that he's joining this live stream. So if you go to that post in the event, the live stream event, you'll find the tagged group that he's talking about. Just send the request to join, answer the very basic questions
Very basic.
to be
You
added,
describe.
and yeah, you'll be there. And it is a great space. It is a safe space. A lot of good people there.
And Tess is also an admin of this group, so you're in good company right off the bat.
Also, for Rebecca that may not have seen, we got some viewers on YouTube. Sarah O'Brien, one who says that they will pray for you and that they hope that things improve, for you. So you got folks across the platforms that are acknowledging this and coming together in solidarity for you. So Rebecca says, y'all got me crying in a good way. Thank y'all for the support, man. That's what it's about, man. You know what I'm saying? Build each other up. There's too much destruction. There's too many walls being put up everywhere. Let's build some bridges, guys and gals. Right? Let's build those bridges. Light some incense for Rebecca too. Michael Thacker is joining in solidarity as well for Rebecca. May your ancestors watch over you. That's beautiful, and a lot of times that's what it takes. At least that's a start, to know that people are there for you. The book Jesse mentioned has an excellent section on Frith as well. Yes. Sorry, guys, just catching up on comments. Rebecca says they'll be right back. 4 minutes ago, Crystal Dawn says, I may not be Christian, but damn, I love the art in old Bibles and cathedrals. It's amazing.
Oh, absolutely.
Look, you don't have to be Christian
yeah.
to appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh
that's
yeah.
just like, I don't have to be, I'm a metalhead, but damn it, I appreciate the composition of some of classical music and opera. You know what I'm saying? Like I like the extreme music type size of things, but I can appreciate talent and art when it
I was born and
shows.
raised on bluegrass, so
So
I can still play. I can still play bluegrass still, and I know like nearly every song that I was taught and picked up. So
beauty is beauty.
All right, Blake, let's hear it.
Yeah, man, pull out that banjo, man. You're talking about
It's gonna
toggle harp
be
this and toggle harp that and drum this and drum that. I want to hear that jaw harp and that banjo, baby. You know?
But upon that though,
I don't have a
being
banjo,
ra-
but I have a guitar.
being raised Roman Catholic, I'm very grateful for my heritage, my upbringing, for a couple reasons, and one most important is something I respect about the Catholic faith, aside from the Christian faith. Again, personal observances here is
Mm,
with Catholics they hold a high sense of reverence, and the Catholic Mass, as a kid,
yeah.
bored me to death, but
Really?
as an adult, and especially as a pagan, is that sense of reverence.
Oh yeah.
Just like, okay, we're creating our sacred space. You have people create sacred space with fire, with frankincense. Just saying, But again, the Christians, again, personal observation.
I recently got a chance to attend a Catholic mass. Yeah, that's true. I
And then
recently
other, like, again, not slamming, not dissing, but other ones like, dancing, playing the guitar, and all that jazz. Like,
the
no, my cup of
tambourine.
tea. Yeah, exactly. Like, no, we're good. I'm out here. Peace out. But like
Yeah.
Catholic Mass, though, it's like, okay, you come as
Dude,
you are.
I recently got a chance to by the way, Voodoo Viking says that some of the recent Amazon copies are going for around $30 for Culture of the Teutons, I believe.
Oh, nice. That's not bad at all.
Yeah. And there's John Deason. Great to see you too, John. John is a great fella here in the Middle Tennessee area. I believe he's kind of close to like the Dixon, Clarksville, Tennessee area. He's kind of up a further bit north of me, but I've met him and some of my recent firewood, my camp firewood, is thanks to John Deason here. So good seeing you here, John. Thanks for tuning in. But yeah, no, I did. I got a chance to recently attend a Catholic mass because a friend of our family, who has been very involved with just some recent inner family dealings. One of my wife's friends from high school, his grandmother had passed away, and his mother. They are from Louisiana, baby. I mean, I'm talking. They are Cajun as fuck, right? No disrespect, but I mean, like his mom, it's she's got that Louisiana Cajun thing going on with her accent. Yeah, man, just and they had invited us all to come to mass one night. Um, and it wasn't a funeral, it wasn't a wake, it wasn't anything like that, but they invited us to come to mass, and my wife had never been to mass, my bonus kid had never been to mass. They didn't know what they were in for. I had, and I said, listen, you're this isn't like your normal Southern Baptist church. You're gonna be doing some work. You're gonna be sitting, you're gonna be kneeling, you're gonna be standing, you're gonna be sitting, you're gonna be kneeling, stands up, down, right. But man, like when they start it all, and when they go through the procession, and you smell the frankincense in the cathedral, and you behold the ritual theater of what they're doing. Um, I mean, like Patrick, what you said, like it kind of tugs on your heart when, especially viewing at it through a pagan lens. Like this is why I've said for so long, like these Catholics, like it's paganism, but they're in denial because
Yes, that's exactly how
Yeah.
to say
they're pagans in denial. They just don't want to call it that. Praying to
You
the
got me.
saints, you're praying to the gods. Okay, call it something else. But
Are they in denial or are they just confused?
I
Could
mean,
be
I don't
mixed
know.
of the
Like
two.
I think
Could be
they're
easily be a mix of the
convicted.
two.
I think they're convicted enough to say what they're saying. But I'm like, okay, well, if you're praying to the saints, isn't that just another name for the gods? Because you got these different
Oh.
embodiments of divinity. Whatever. I don't know. I'm not trying to but that was my whole thing. Like, oh, Catholics, they're just pagans in denial. Go to a mass, attend a Catholic mass, and tell me differently. Everybody's opinions are different, but hey, it is what it is.
It's
That's
really great
my
to see those. It's great to see those observations when you're in the mind state to appreciate it. Again,
yeah.
to each their own. Different strokes, different folks. We all see things differently, and that's what makes this universe very beautiful and challenging.
Yeah. So Rebecca is in a kindred that is, I guess, in Washington. It's called Odin's Peaks, or Odin's Peak. They have a lot of outdoor activities. Very heathen. Sacred Grove veneration is very heathen. So to be outdoors and to have sacred space held outdoors is a very heathen approach. But Sarah just can't can't do the cold. It's hard for me to get out in general. I try to do what I can, but sometimes it feels like it's not enough. I love learning. It might be challenging, but if it's boring, it's no fun for me.
Well, spice it up. Again, within reason. Just brainstorm that thing, kind of thing. Just think about it. Like, what are ways that you could potentially elevate?
There isn't anything that is not enough. Double negative aside, everything. If you've done it in that moment, it's enough. It's acceptable. It's been put into the ether. It's there.
I love that.
Yeah.
Again,
You come forth to do what you can with the best of what you got. You give everything you got, and if the best is what you got is, hey, I can give you 5 minutes because my body, my joints, my this, my that, I can't handle, but I'm going to give you everything I got. And if all you got is that, then hey, that's what you've done. And I think the gods recognize that. I think your ancestors recognize that. I think everything that you go into with your spirit fully integrated, you come to it with purity. You come to it with genuineness. Like it's going to show itself. Real quick, just let Rebecca know. Sorry, Patrick, I'll let you chime in.
Please.
So to answer your question, Rebecca, myself and Blake over here, Skaldic Works, are on YouTube. Blake is a musician, so his channel is Skaldic Works. They're and my channel is Midgard Musings. Patrick doesn't have a channel on YouTube because he's not really putting content out here per se in that fashion, at least not yet. So Blake and I, we share content on our YouTube channels when and as we can. Patrick is primarily on Facebook, but hopefully that answers.
I also have a secondary Facebook account as well, called Sacred Roots Holistic Services.
Sacred Roots Holistic Services.
I feel like I've seen that before.
Let me see if I can find it on here. It's got a longer name than that, but it's let's see.
Yeah, if you can't find it right now, Blake, go ahead and post it down in the comments if you can. Otherwise, I'll add it to the post.
I think it's Sacred and Well-Being.
Yeah, is it on your link tree? Have you added it to your link tree or no?
No, I have a separate link tree for that. It's Sacred Roots Holistic Service and Spiritual Guidance, actually.
Okay.
And that's where I do all my my healing work and my rune readings and stuff.
Okay. Did you post it down below? Let me see. Yeah, add it to the comments if you want to Blake. Otherwise, we'll add it here later.
I'll put it here. It's
I'm on this.
I would have to find it. Let me see if I can.
That's
go
okay.
Off, I go off. Okay, so it didn't get me off. Okay, yay. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna log into my Facebook here and see if I can find this.
Awesome.
Link.
What's up there, Kevin Dunn on Facebook? Just catching
Kevin Dunn.
Yeah, Kevin. Kevin.
Kevin,
It's like Home Alone, you know. Kevin.
Look what you did, you little jerk.
He says, "I'm there with you, Patrick." Kevin knows Patrick, I guess, or y'all know each other.
Yep.
A recovering Catholic, he says. He's got
That's a good one.
yeah. Buddha Viking says raised Catholic, and his father is in the Grand Knights of the Knights of Columbus down there in Louisiana.
Great group.
Yeah, they do good things. They really do. Recovering.
I don't know how to send this, so
that's all right, man. If you put it, there's a comment section on where we're streaming from. If
yeah,
you put
I couldn't
it
find it if I even tried. It's like.
So Mike, so while you're doing that, by the way, anybody that's this will be annotated in the after show notes too. So Blake, is mentioning a site or a page that he does holistic healing, Reiki, rune readings, this and that. It'll be shared after the show as well, in case you miss it here in the live stream.
I'm gonna send it directly to you here. Paste.
Okay.
There we go.
Yep, I got it. I'll put it down here in just a second. Let me get to Michael Thacker's comment. It says, "Hate to ask this on the current happy topic, but what symbolism should be avoided besides the obvious swastika?" He's asking due to getting 2 tattoos a while back and them getting the wrong attention. Ooh, boy.
That's a tough one.
I like the toughness, though. I like it. I like the toughness. What symbols should be avoided? Flat out. Anybody want to time in?
I think I have one in mind. It's the notorious black sun.
The black sun symbol, yes. Not to be confused with the Slavic sun wheel, the Slavic sun wheel, because that's 2 different things. They may look similar, but they are not.
Yeah.
The black sun. Yep.
There's a lot more little staves around that one, around black sun, than the Slavic one.
Yep. You're good, Patrick. You just
the foot in Othala.
The foot, yes, the boots on the Othala rune. Yeah, so Othala with a wing. If it looks like it's got feet kicking off at the bottom stave, Ixnay on the Thala OA. Just go with the straight Othala. Don't do the Othala with wings or boots or whatever they call it. That's a big one.
There's a Vine rune. It has an X, like a K-Naz. The camera's messing me up right now.
You want to draw it? You got a paper?
I can remember what it looked like. I just know there's the X, and I regret even talking about it because I can't recall it.
Okay.
But it's a Catholic symbol for the reborn of Christ. But it looks very much like a Vine rune in a certain aspect. So there's the X. Again, I have to share with you later time, but there's
what is it called?
Come to mind to avoid.
What is it called? Reborn of Christ.
I'm gonna try to draw it here.
Well,
it's gonna take too long. Yeah, no.
That's okay. Another one's called the Wolf's Angle. Wolf's Angle is basically an Ehwaz rune. So the rune that has like that. It's a straight axis with one thing going this way and the other one going the other way. It's Wolf's Angle. WOLFSANGEL. Wolf's Angle, and then a line going through the middle of it. That's one that's you shouldn't appropriate in any sort of heathen context. It's not a heathen symbol.
The quote Adam Sandler's 8 Crazy Nights, that's a technical foul.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say like the SS bolts, obviously, like
Oh yeah,
double
that's
Yeah.
what, yeah.
Solu runes
Yeah.
are clearly alt right, fascist symbology. Um,
Unless you put them in something like of meaning, like between a couple characters or something.
it's tough to though, because like even with the swastika, because the swastika is a
Yeah.
sun wheel. It is a Hindu symbol of
It
peace.
predates
You know
that,
what I
yeah,
mean?
'cause it
It
predates
predates what the Nazis
Nazism. Yeah,
appropriated it
yeah.
as. So
Yeah.
let's just be real. Like but if you put that on you, if you wear it, obviously people are going to
Well,
uh,
there's also a
raise
version called
questions.
the Threfot. Is a three sided version of that.
Yeah.
But I don't
I
think that's. I think that's a little bit more less challenged.
It's tough when you talk about symbols, because even the
Yeah.
Tiwaz rune, Tears rune, the Tiwaz rune has been appropriated by Nazis in the past, and the Algies has been appropriated by
thank you. I was
Vinland.
just
You
about
know
to
what I
mention
mean?
that.
Like that's been appropriated as well. Like, uh, but like blatant misappropriations. Oh, the peace symbol. Yeah, you got algaes on a
I mean,
circle,
I'm
but
just
you
saying.
put you put the peace symbol, like you invert it and you got the peace symbol, but you got algaes in a circle. Like,
This is opposite of peace, in my personal opinion.
you think so?
Oh, I know some. Again, personal experience. UPG, I think it is.
Mm,
It's just this is unified peace. Connected to the sacred. This, again, as a teenager, as a kid, oh, peace, man, yeah. Now it's like,
peace,
no,
love,
this is
rock and roll.
peace. Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. No, this is
What I found a weird word. I had a Christian person. I used to go to a Bible school as a kid. Um, my teacher there would say that they turned the cross upside down and broken the arms.
Okay.
And
Well,
say it was like a form of there was like a form of satanic symbol or something like that. I'm like,
oh my god.
good grief.
welcome to the South, people.
They'll make anything satanic if they want to. Fucking
Yeah.
hell. All right.
So Crystal Dawn says maybe they'll attend one of the St. Louis Basilica's masses someday just to see. I visited once and was in awe of the building. So a basilica, yes, that's obviously would be a Catholic holy site. And the one in
St.
St.
Louis?
Louis, the St. Louis Basilica, apparently has some pretty impressive architecture, maybe, or
I might have to go
things.
visit there.
Yeah.
There's one I'm not sure if it's Catholic or what kind of church it is, but it's like the oldest church in downtown Charleston. And we were on a bus tour and they were showing that as well. And you could I'm not sure if we could have gone into it, but you could see they were showing that they had the doors open where you could see straight to the back stained glass window.
Yeah.
There's a
Luna says
lot
they're
of
at best. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Blake.
there's a lot of different denominational churches in downtown Charleston.
Sure, there are. It's a melting pot. Luna
Yeah.
Luna says that they're up there past their bedtime, and but I must surrender to the Z's. And good night. Yes, good night to you, Luna. Thank you for being
Thanks for
here.
joining, Luna.
In case
Love
we
you,
missed
appreciate
your
you.
comment, you get to watch this later. Thank you for being here. Let's see. Let me scroll down a little bit more if I can find it. Here we go. John
You're supposed to
Jason
join me
says
outside here in a second.
Jesse cracked the Catholic code. I don't know about that, man. But Patrick may have disappeared. Isn't Saint Brigid and the goddess
Bridget.
Brigid, yeah, Brigid, or the sacred goddess, or the goddess Brigid and the Saint Brigid, the same entity? I can't say
That
for
that's
sure.
that's very complicated.
Let me
I think they're based off the same, but
Maybe
can't.
I would have to come back and research it
Yeah,
more.
yeah, because I have heard different wild stories about that one. I haven't dived down into that rabbit hole yet.
More to come on that, Crystal Dawn. I'll try to maybe find a better answer for that. I can't say for sure. Names, to say that a name is the same as another name is a stretch unless we have historical documentation to tie the two together. You know what I mean?
And you're asking two devout heathens here a Celtic question.
This is also true. Having the two names be similar. Brigid as a goddess is not found in the Germanic uh, pantheon
Yeah,
or culture of things. Yeah.
yeah.
Um, Rebecca went to an Episcopalian church once. They all started flopping around and speaking some weird, and speaking some weird language. I guess younger. It freaked me out. That doesn't sound Episcopalian. That sounds Pentecostal. But what do I know? I'm not an Episcopalian. Never been to an Episcopalian service. But
Yeah.
speaking in tongues seems very Pentecostal. Uh, yeah. Voodoo Viking says, "You don't say that to Catholics. It don't end well." Oh yeah, being pagans in denial. Yeah, I say it loosely. I'm not trying to stir any feathers. Well, or maybe I am. Maria bakes to venerate. Okay. Oh, Maria, that's Randy's wife, Randy's significant other. Maria bakes to venerate. Hey, welcome back, Patrick. Good to have you back.
Thank you. Jeez.
Yes, Maria Morrow bakes to venerate. Can't beat fresh bread. Man, I tell you what, you really
Absolutely.
can't. You cannot beat fresh bread.
Absolutely.
Let me tell you, I will show up to your house, ready to do anything you ask me if I smell freshly baked carbs coming out of your window.
You can beat it when you before it's baked.
Yeah, they said They said that baking is venerating is baking. Sorry, baking is venerating the gods. To be baked, is that venerating the gods too, or are we talking about two different things?
What kind of bake we talking about?
That's what I'm saying. What are we
Oh,
talking
yeah.
about here? Are we baking bread or what are we baking over here? No,
Yeah.
I know what you're saying, Crystal. I know what you're saying, Crystal Dawn. Yes, because here's the thing. When you get into the kitchen, when you put ingredients together in a bowl or a pan or this or that, right? What are you doing? It's alchemy. You're mixing elements. It's magic, people.
Took the words right out of my
You're conducting a spell when you put this together and that together, and boom, what happens? You create something out of base elements. It's magic, and
And
so
some of the same spices and herbs are used in baking and cooking are actually used also in herbal remedies.
Rosemary.
sure.
I know of the woman my Reiki teacher, my Reiki master. She runs a apothecary and tea shop here locally in town. That also has sells like crystals and all the other woo woo stuff. But
Yeah.
And a lot of these ingredients have terpenes. If anyone who enjoys cannabis, offers very healing properties, and that's outside cannabis too. You have different foods, different plants that offer healing properties. Like lavender
Mhm.
is wonderful for sleeping, relaxing. You have basil, you
yeah,
have thyme, you have multiple different things that have so many purposes too. It's very beautiful. And
Oh, yeah.
baking, again, hats off to anyone who's baking. I can't
That-
get to say it my own life,
that-
but
that is a dedicated
It's a
art.
science, really. It really is,
Yeah,
in a way.
Yeah.
I can whip a mean thing. I can whip up a mean dish in the kitchen. I can't bake to save my
Like some
life.
scrambled eggs with some Worcestershire sauce, maybe, perhaps.
Yeah, oh yeah. I'll give you some Gordon Ramsay level scrambled eggs, baby. You know what I'm
I
saying?
want some more
Don't ask me to
eggs,
bake
Jesse.
cookies because I'll bake you a cookie. I'll put instead of 12 cookies, you'll have one giant sheet pan of a cookie
Yeah.
that you'll have to eat. But
Instead of
like,
brownies, you have
I,
a cookie cake at this
I
point.
can make I can make a mean pork stew. I can make a
oh
mean
yeah,
pork stew, and that's what we kind of dubbed that our official YOLO bloat kind of dish
okay. Well,
because it turned out so well the first year. I was like, well, we're doing this again next year, but we did not end up doing it again next year this year because because of finances, of course. But
sure. Well, Rebecca's asking that she says I got to write these down or I'll forget the time I go to look unless someone can message it to
It's
me. Rebecca,
recorded.
yeah,
We're good.
this live stream is recorded. You can rewatch it, but if it makes it easier for you, if you want to, I'll just put my information out here. If anybody wants to reach out to me directly and ask a question, emailing me is the best way. So my email address is midgardmusings TN, like Tennessee. So Midgard Musings, TN, at gmail.com. Or you can DM me on my socials. So I have a Facebook page, obviously you're watching this on. I have my YouTube channel, but my Linktree link is posted. So all of my socials are linked there. If you want to DM me on my socials, that's fine. But my preferred method of contact is to email me, midgardmusingstn at gmail.com. Ask me anything. If you're looking for something that you don't want to, just say, hey, there was something we were talking about on this live stream, and I'm looking for information about XYZ. I may not get back to you right away. It may take me a day or two to get back to you, but I will respond. So there is that. Also, Rebecca has a joke. Why do people in Greece like waking up at dawn?
Why do they wait?
Because
I don't
dawn
know.
is tough on Greece.
Ah!
Oh.
Get out of here.
Hold on.
Get out of
It is
here.
right here.
Damn it. Dang it.
Slap the knee. Oh, goodness.
That's good, Rebecca. That was
That's a good
great.
one. Jesse, tell the one you shared the other day.
Oh,
I
okay.
love that one.
So this is one if you're Germanic heathen, there's another name for the spirits of the land, and it's white, and it's spelled WIGHT, but it sounds like you're saying the color or the absence of color, white, but it's white. So another name for the Germanic spirit of anything is white. So land white, house white, and the joke was, what do you call a heathen who thinks that the land spirits are above the gods? Blake,
What do you call those?
any idea?
Sorry, I was doing something else
So
here.
so what do you call a heathen who
Yeah.
thinks that the land spirits are above the gods?
I do not know about that one.
A white supremacist.
Oh, oh, that's funny. I didn't keep
It
that. I didn't
is.
do that
It's beautiful.
one. Yeah.
My glass just
Yeah.
broke, so
Yeah.
I'm without sight more or
They
less.
broke?
Try. Yeah, you ready? So
Dude, what the heck you doing over there? We're just
these
live
glasses
streaming
have
over
broke
here.
like 6
Yeah.
times in the last like 3 weeks.
This ain't that serious, my guy.
Whatever.
They don't make them like they used to.
I could. No, they don't.
Voodoo
I
Viking
may
asked, should all of us recovering Catholics start a group of our own? I don't know. Sure, why not? Why don't you start one, Voodoo Viking?
If I
Catholics Anonymous.
Kid, I love that.
Dude, Blake showing up clutch with that man. Catholics Anonymous.
Catholics.
Catholics for 12 years.
Yeah.
Hi, Patrick.
Catholics Anonymous.
Golly. Michael Thacker says this is going back to one of his things about symbols. He says, for the record, I got a Valknut and horns of Odin, the Triskelion,
I have the Horn Triskelion as well over my Mjolnir. I showed that to you in the last episode.
Yeah, and I have a Valknut on my chest. I get like the Valknut can okay, so we know that the Valknut's been it appears on some rune stones,
Yeah.
whether it's inherently heathen, old ways heathen, pre-Christian or not. But I have a Valknut on my chest. I'm not ashamed to say it was my devotion. It was my dedication to Odin. Now that comes with its own thing, and that's a conversation for another time.
I'm very, very wayward about that because that's something I would have to do deep research before I did that.
Yeah, well, I did research and I committed and I'm in it now, so it's it is what it is.
Yeah, that's the reason why I'm very careful about the symbols I put on my body.
Rebecca says that they have runes on their chest that say truth. Runes on your chest that say truth. So I'm assuming we're talking about runic characters that spell out the word for truth, perhaps. They get crap all the time for it, or even if my hammer is showing, I get yelled at for being Aryan Nation. Wow. So I just reply to them to go read a book and educate themselves. Yeah. I think that this is very indicative of the area that a lot of people are in. This is an example of why, in North America at least, in the United States specifically, not every place is as accepting or as welcoming to symbols as others. Clearly, in Washington,
or as knowledgeable,
or whatever. I mean, like to have runes carved on you, or to have a Mjolnir carrying, like, have it on your body, to have it be related as something of an alt-right hate group is unfortunate. It's the reality in some places, but it's unfortunate, and I'm sorry that you're having to go through that, Rebecca.
It is, because unfortunately with this day and age, prior to the origins of the runes, again, going back to Nazi Germany, I've been watching documentaries, can't explain why, but I realized something like, very much off topic there, but it's finding an oxymoron.
No, it's kind of actually on topic.
It's just
Hitler
was, Christian and Catholic. I was trying to appease Catholic churches in his endeavor, I guess, but was very much honoring paganism at the same time.
Well, he also had a lot of the influences of Guido von List, who was an occultist. So you have the Armanen runes that Guido von List, and that's a whole thing in and of itself. If you want to look at the history of what Guido von List discovered through dreams and through ecstatic states of this and that, and his whole runic system, it is a mind-blowing discovery if you want to go down that route. To say that the Nazis were socialists and that they were, on the far left, I don't use this platform to discuss semantics of political agendas and things. So I'm just going to leave your opinion at that, Voodoo Viking, and we can discuss it offline privately if you want to. But I'm not gonna go down that path just for the sake of everyone's audience. John has a raven tattooed, I guess. They always get looked down on when it's shown. Why? It's a bird. Or birds.
Yeah.
Like, why would a raven be looked down upon? There is always a time to educate after I explain my beliefs. What is wrong with people that you're going to put some sort of derogatory, negative twist on a spirit of nature, like a freaking bird? At the very least, it's a bird. Like, come on, like get.
Well, maybe they're not looking down upon them for the image, but for the tattoo itself. That's what I mean.
Maybe just the fact that you're tattooed to begin with.
Yeah, just like we live in the South. In the South, a lot of people here are just so diehard. They're adamant that they look at us. People
Yeah,
with
yeah. People with
tattoos.
tattoos, like,
Whatever.
oh, you're going to hell, whatever. Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right, Crystal Dawn. Thank you. You have to go to. It's past your bedtime. I know it is late, and for those of you hanging around, chilling out, Blake and Patrick, thank you all. Wish you the best too there, Crystal Dawn. Thank you for being here. Let's get Patrick back on here. There he is.
All right, goddamn.
That's all right. And then we got Kevin that says Latin Mass will make you feel like you're in a time machine. Catholic Mass does. It kind of puts you in a state of mind that recalls, something of an ancient or older way. I could agree with that.
Most certainly, without a doubt. Yeah.
Voodoo Viking says that the peace symbol is the flag symbol for nuclear deterrence. Yeah, given the fact of when it rose.
I think I remember reading that.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, when it happened, like when the peace symbol, when the hippies, when it, look at what was happening in the country, look at what was happening in the world. It was iconic, So to use that symbol and to make it a thing, appropriate it maybe for their own vision, I guess could be.
Oh, jeez,
seen.
wow.
Yeah, okay, let me read this one. So Rebecca Ferris says, to be honest, I left the skinhead movement 20 years ago and had waited 20 years to get bolts covered. I was young and, well, didn't really know what I was getting into at first when my mother, before she passed away, she told me to read a book and educate myself. Long story short, I did. Then I cussed a few of the skinheads out before I left the group. Best choice I ever made. Then I started studying the runes and old ways and learned a lot. I gave my kids, who are now 25 and 23, the choice of a youth group at a Baptist church or study heathen ways. My kids are smart, so they studied both for a long while. Then, when they were ready, they both chose the heathen path. I also just found out I'm going to be a grandma of twins.
Congrats.
Wow. That's amazing, Rebecca. We do. We make decisions sometimes in our youth through influence of others, through informed visions of things at the time, and we have to go back and we have to, revisit those things. And it sounds like you did. So good on you for realizing, hey, man, this was not a good move, and then giving your children and future generations a chance to learn on their own, right? Be informed and find their own way. So that's great. Voodoo Viking says Catholics took I think this may be back to the Bridget comment. Yeah, one and the same, because the Catholics took her as a form of conversion of the people. That tracks.
Yeah.
That makes sense. What did Kevin say? When was your heathen baptism? When did you guys decide to become heathen? That's a great question, Kevin. Thank you for asking. I know it's 17 minutes ago, so maybe you're still here. I'm trying to catch up on comments. There he is.
I just.
So so you guys here, like, let's reflect a little bit. I'm trying to catch up on comments. These are almost 20 minutes old. When was your heathen quote unquote baptism? When did you guys decide to become heathen?
Who's going first?
Blake.
Okay.
Good.
I was waiting for everybody else to start, but
I was gonna start, but all right.
Yeah. I didn't want to be the first one to suggest. So, but since Jesse's the maestro here, my first time, I probably explained this once before on this channel or the podcast that I kind of followed the Barossa True path for a while. Kind of like, I grew up.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, many moons ago, I was listening to. I listened to. I was listening to. I still do listen to Amon Amarth. Got me into there. Um, then I watched a bit of the show Vikings, which I never did complete, by the way, the whole season.
What?
I've left it at season 3 for some reason, and I haven't come.
Season 1?
I have
Or sorry.
season 3.
Yeah, the original season, not the second Vikings Valhalla. Okay.
Yeah, the first original season. I've at season 3. I kind of like dipped out after that season.
Okay.
Sorry. So it was like going to season 4, and I just hadn't caught back up. And so that kind of got me interested into things as well. Then I started reading more into it, and I was like, okay, this is pretty decent religion here. But for about 5 years, I guess, it was from 2013 to 2020 that I was like not inactive. I was inactive. I was just like declaring that I was pagan. And then 2020 is when I started really buckling down, looking inward, and following the path. That's when I started doing my research, doing the reading, going to my first bloats, and then getting involved in the community and stuff, and then here I am today. So very, very short.
Okay. Well, here you are today, doing some great things, talking with us here on the podcast. Thanks for sharing that your origins, as it were.
Yeah.
Patrick, you go next.
I would go next, but Wi-Fi is being very messed up right now. I feel like any given moment, I'm gonna get kicked off from the live again. So I'm scared to say anything.
Well, you better hurry up then, damn it.
Alright, damn it. I see the video. It's not
Cliff notes.
what I'm saying right now.
That's
Alright. Here we go. Loki, chill the fuck out. But anyways, so me, Patrick.
Right on cue. Right the fuck on cue. Right the fuck on cue. He had to say it. He had to say Loki. He had to. I'm laughing over here.
Don't jinx things, man.
I mean, I'm laughing over here, but I'm also.
Yeah.
But you said, okay. Right on cue.
Yeah.
Like, it's funny. Kevin, I started off almost 10 years ago as a heathen. I've had a Mjolnir tattooed on my arm for almost 20 years since before I was heathen. But I found the heathen path right around the time when Vikings came out. I saw that there was pop culture that was putting attention to the whole thing. My ancestry is deeply rooted in Germanic. You know what, Patrick? You know what? You say the name, and I go. You listen. You gotta wonder. You gotta go. Listen.
All right. We'll have the time. We'll have the chance.
Get
Let me
it.
answer the question.
Don't say the L word. Don't say. Go ahead.
Crash course here, but being born the way I was, the way I am.
What, awesome and all?
Thank you. It's just different. Yes, and awesome, without a doubt. But it's a very great question. It takes great time and energy to answer, so I'm gonna do my best in this circumstance. But I've always been aware of something sacred, something meaningful, and not to play a pity card, but being born the way I am, more or less, I can't escape it. I've been forced into this predicament. I never wanted to be in this situation, but I've been given it and I'm doing my best. So, anyways, this is my train of thought now.
Yeah, what made you decide to go heathen?
Thank you. Is my draw and pull to the sacred, and that's this earth, Mother Yord. The things we don't have to question or understand, they're provided to us. They offer what they do indiscriminately. And that goes just as well as our well-meaning friends and family members. So
Poor fella. It's one of those nights.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to answer your question there, Kevin, I was in a time in my life about a decade ago where, uh, my life lessons, everything that I was brought up in, I was in a space or in a time where I was questioning a lot of things. The life, the path of my ancestors came to me through pop culture at the time, but it was a seed. It was a seed that got planted, and it forced me to investigate and learn more and realize what the reality of this path was. That it wasn't.
the internet gods do not agree with me right now,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
here I
I'm
am.
bouncing back and forth, man. I'm like, all right, when
I
he
got
when
it.
he drops, I'll
It works
fill
out. It
in.
works out. It works out. So thank you. But all my life I've been a black sheep. In saying that, I question things. I feel like there's a greater purpose, a greater pull, a greater gravitation to each unique individual as who we are. So, respectfully, I was raised as a Roman Catholic, and then middle school, high school, I started questioning things, and I became a Satanist. Well,
Ooh.
terminology is very loose there. Jesse, I told you about this a
Yeah.
few times, but I was classified as a spiritual Satanist. And ultimately, though, that's what led me to the gods. Because spiritual Satanism wasn't about Satan, it was about Lucifer. It was about other archetypes. The Greek gods, the Roman gods, the pagan gods, all the Mesopotamian gods, the cradle of civilization before the world started.
Yeah.
And that's where my heart truly lies, is before things became truly organized. And a lot of that coincides with myself. I've been born different before things became organized, but I'm still in that primordial state of developing and understanding myself. And in fact, that really can coincide with a lot of us today and the past and the future. We're trying to figure things out. I try to figure myself out. Like, why was I born this way? Why is this happening the way it is? Again, these are questions I'm not asking myself, but we're all asking ourselves at some point or another. So, anyways, already long story short is I got into spiritual Satanism, and then I eventually got to Norse paganism. Now, this is back in like 2012, and I re-entered into this path earnestly, wholeheartedly in late 2019. And, like Blake, what you were saying, like watching Vikings, experiencing Highline my first time, and being shared with them from a good friend of mine at the time. It took its life, and it just went from there. It just, again, going back to Highline, re-entering Norse paganism, it's been nothing but a blessing, without a doubt. And thank the gods that are still part of this live right now, not getting kicked out just yet, but just we'll come and let's go ahead.
Don't say it. Don't jinx it.
Yeah,
Don't jinx
yeah.
it.
I still got. Listen, I still got comments that I'm trying to get from almost 30 minutes ago,
I'm
guys.
sorry,
These
it
poor
was very
people.
wonky over here.
Yeah.
Missouri or misery, more
Yeah.
accurately. But thanks, guys, for.
Yeah, we gotta do what we gotta do. This is kind of it when we got people, in different areas of the country. Thank you for sharing your origin stories, Patrick and Blake. Real quick there, Rebecca was asking, like what rune books do you gentlemen read and which ones do you suggest? This is a topic that could be dedicated to a whole podcast or a whole thing in and
Without
of
a doubt,
itself.
yeah, without a doubt.
I have some that I can recommend to you, Rebecca. Again, my email is midgardmusingstn@gmail.com. I actually did an interview with a guy who has one of my highest recommended books, one of which I own. It's called Call of the Runes, and the author's name is Walter McGrory, McGrory, I think. You can find him on Amazon, but it's a Call of the Runes by Walter McGrory. The reason why I recommend it is because he goes into very detailed explanations of the etymology of the runic names in both the Norwegian, Icelandic, and Anglo-Saxon rune poems, where these runes have been found in archaeological finds, the esoteric or magical meanings behind the runes, etc. It's great for the detailed or studied runer or runologist, but also for people that are just wanting to break the ice and find their way into rune study. It's readable, it's studyable. You can find a lot of good information. You can email me if you want the link, but I'll try to come back after the live stream and post the link down in the comments after as well. If anybody has anything that you want to say about rune books, guys, feel free to comment. But I'm gonna try to breeze through these comments because we've been streaming live for a couple of hours, and I want to try to get
I'm actually
through
about
some
to
of these
hop off
comments
here pretty soon here, but
yeah.
With that said, I'm going to address you to specifically Blake.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure being part of this live stream with you.
Oh yeah.
Again, I don't know you on a personal level, but I'd like to. But
hopefully one day. Hopefully one day. One day.
Absolutely. But Jesse, I don't have to say it, but you know it. But all you are watching this live stream, thank you for supporting my brother. This man I've known for several years. He offers what he can. He suffers just like all of us. We go through hard times, great, wonderful times. Even still, though, this man, he didn't ask me, but in the comments after the fact, let's give some praise and much needed love to this man to make this channel started. Despite his adversities, his setbacks, and again, celebrations too, just his life, this man, he's come so far, facing many adversities just like we do. Again, all who are watching right now, give some special love to this great man, my special brother, who has helped me tremendously, again, in the best worst of times. And all you guys watching, again, you could catch my link after this live stream. Join my group if you want to. But again, stay true to yourself. Keep challenging yourself, asking those hard questions. And no question is stupid unless you don't ask it. Because then you want to find the answer to it.
Absolutely, because this will get aired on the audio platforms too, you guys. So for those that haven't watched this, if you're just listening to this for the first time, Patrick's group is going to be linked down below. Blake's social media over here is going to be linked. Also, check them all out, and thank you, Patrick, for your kind words, and thank you for everybody that's here. I know, Patrick, if you're going to drop, it is late. on a Monday. You know, a lot of folks have to get up and work, myself included. I got to be present at my day job. You know what I mean?
Let's
Um,
work.
so
Yeah,
I
exactly.
mean, I do want to just, you know, you don't have to stick around, but I am just going to kind of breeze through. And thank you, Patrick, for your kind words. It is
You're
greatly
very welcome.
appreciated. And for everybody that's listening to this or watching this later on, you know, like, check out Patrick's group, guys. If you're looking for a safe
Yeah.
space, if you're on Facebook, and you want to have a safe space that you can feel comfortable being yourself in, Patrick's group is a spot for you to be that. Um, it is Highland focused, obviously, for because of the name of the group, but it is not
I'm
just
very open
Highland.
and very
Yeah,
laid back with that kind of thing because I have some very
yeah,
special admins and moderators for sharing
yeah.
unrelevant information. But it's just day-to-day grind. Sometimes we need some laughs, some inspiration,
Right.
some support. You
Yeah,
come as you are.
absolutely. And thank you, Patrick, for creating that space for people to feel safe in and comfortable to reveal their true selves in, because it's a tough world out here, ladies and gentlemen. Like, we live in a time where it's dicey. So to find a space where we can feel comfortable with our fellow people, it's appreciated. So thank you for doing what you do, Patrick.
Well, thank you for the shout out, the acknowledgement, and the kind words. I mean, ultimately, though, again, before I get off, I have to give thanks to how long, of course, a journey I started and never anticipated the results that I've gotten so far. Again, seeing them 5 times, hanging out with them 3 times, and just meeting all the special, wonderful people in my life. And that coincides with any path we choose to follow earnestly with our good intentions and well deserved research and knowledge of what we choose to pursue. It's imperative to know yourself and your intentions. And again, before you can help anyone else, again, I'm saying this to myself as well as anyone else who needs to hear this. You have to heal and help yourself before you're any good to anyone else. But again, keep fighting, keep being your true, wonderful self. No matter how hard and amazing it is, just keep being you. Because ultimately, that's all we can do. Just as well as my brother Jesse and this amazing, great man Blake, just keep being you. Because that's what's making this universe, this Midgard that we all dwell in, special the way it is.
Yeah, it does.
So that's that, my friends, my brother. Take it easy.
Thank you, Patrick. We'll let you go, and Blake and I will send everybody else off here in just a moment. But thank you for being here, and thank
You're
you for
very welcome.
contributing.
Thank you for having me.
Have a great night, brother. I love you. We'll stay in
Love
touch.
you too. All right, take it easy, guys.
Here,
Take it
Patsy.
easy.
You too.
All right, folks. Let me just get caught up on some of the later comments. I know we're getting late here, and I do just want to acknowledge folks. I put some comments up on screen that acknowledge Patrick, and Sarah's here saying, good night all. Have to take care of some stuff in the morning. Yeah, it is. These are monthly live streams that happen on a Monday night, and I understand
Yeah.
that impacts people's work schedules, right? Because when we talk about 8 o'clock on the central time zone, that's 9 o'clock on the East Coast, and then hours later, like, I mean, that's late. So thank you everybody for being here. Um, uh, let's see here. Rebecca says, "How would someone join your live group?" Just wondering, Rebecca, if you're still here or watching. These live streams happen once a month, and I share the live stream broadcast with people to talk with me. Being here, present in the comments and commenting like that is a great way to engage with these. But I do share these live streams like what Blake has been doing and Patrick, with those trusted individuals. Um, So if you're ever interested in wanting to participate in live stream like this on screen, just send me an email. Again, midgardmusingstn@gmail.com. We can talk about it and we can figure out a thing to do with this for maybe next month's live stream. Um, uh, I guess Michael Thacker, they left a while ago. Got to go to bed, right? And got to work at 3 in the morning. That's freaking early, dude. That's
That's really
ungodly hours.
I get to work around 5:30, so
5:30, yeah. So listen, Blake, I don't want to keep you any more than you have to be.
no problem.
I've got your links. I didn't share them. We had a lot of conversation. All of the links
Yeah.
that Blake sent me, Scaldic Works, and Patrick's group, like everything's going to be linked afterwards. So guys and gals, please be sure to check them all out. Support these men in any way that you can. I know I talk about what I do and this and that, but these men are doing their own thing. So please support them. They took time out of their lives to be here and to talk about things, and it was greatly. I think we had a great time. I mean, I had a lot of fun.
And please go check out my newest single.
Oh my god, dude!
Yeah.
That newest single. We talking about?
Yeah.
Was it
Healer's Chant?
Healer's Chant.
Yeah.
I have that added to a playlist on my Spotify, and it plays on repeat sometimes for me.
Yeah.
It is so.
Yeah. Just share the hell out of that, because if everybody shares it, I can get that up. And everything. I'm still working on some new stuff. Some old stuff that has been written but hasn't been released yet fully as a piece. I tell you, the one of them is just challenging, so I'm like, ugh.
Voodoo Viking says that be checking them out for sure. Kevin says,
nice.
Good night, fellas. Yeah, links for that. So again, Scaldic Works. He's on Spotify. He's on YouTube. The links for his music are going to be linked after this episode. So check it all out. Support him any way that you can. Thank you, Rebecca. Again, you are enough. We're all enough, right? You are enough too.
Yeah.
Rebecca. To whoever needs to hear it, the world is a better place with you, no matter who you are. Never give up and never give in. Be present, right? Be a part of this experience that we're all in. You're all experiencing your own individual moment in time, and be a part of it. Be present in it. Embrace it. Well said, Rebecca. Thank you very much. Whispers from Midgard just got out of work a little bit ago, right? So people are sometimes they're ending their day, they're starting their day. Thank you, Randy. Says good night, everyone. So I guess I do want to catch up on some comments later on, but I'm going to review. I think there was one from. Gosh, who was it? I think it was one from Voodoo Viking talking about I don't know, something about younger Foodlight runes. I don't know, but I guess we'll just have to. It's late now, so we're just gonna have to revisit it at another live stream because I want to be respectful. Blake, thank you for being here, my man.
Oh yeah.
I hope you had a great time, and I hope that everything that we did.
Me, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's fun hanging out with you and Pat.
Yeah, I had a great time. We'll have to do it again, maybe next month.
Oh yeah, yeah. Just let me know. Just hit me up.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends and familiars of all shapes, sizes, and genders, or whatever. Thank you for tuning in to this first live stream of Midgard Musings. Thank you for tuning in to this live broadcast of season 5 or I think it's season 5 or season 6, episode 5. Yeah, season 6. What are we? Episode 4, episode whatever it is. We're in here. We're doing it.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, friends, familiars of all shapes and sizes. Thank you for your support, and thank you, Blake, for being here. Thank you, Patrick, for being here, and thank all of you. So if you didn't miss or if you didn't catch this live stream and you missed it, and you want to rewatch it, links for that will be down in the description. Become a patron on Patreon for just $1. It helps support the production of this show, being able to do things like this, bringing guests on to talk about things like this, and support these guys. So thank you all so much. Until we see each other again, may the gods continue to notice you, and may your ancestors smile upon you. And we'll see you in the next one. Good night.